Today we're going to be doing Robocop Rogue City. I'm going to be rating it on graphics, gameplay, and story. And let's begin. We'll do graphics first. I think graphics for what this game is, like what it came out with and what it has, I think are fine. If I had to give it a rating system, I'd give it 3 Wumbos out of 5. I think it's solid enough to enjoy. There are some clipping issues, and if that bothers you and breaks your immersion, then realize you're trading breath for pixel absorption every single time, every second you play a video game, and so just live with that knowledge. Other than that, I think it's decent. I mean, the facial hair in this kind of looks like belly button lint or a trap in a dryer stuck like on a face or whatever, but if you can get past that, it's fine. All right, let's move on to gameplay. Early on, I kind of got like Borderlands vibes with how they wrote out the different types of enemies you'll face throughout the game. It has some depth to it with different skill trees, and it helps you kind of curtail what kind of playthrough you want. They use these things called PCB boards that help change the way certain tools work. For instance, the standard pistol that's equipped on your body can be changed into like a single shot mega wombo machine, or absolutely kitted out towards like the end, automatic, unlimited ammo with no reload feature. So it's definitely fun to play around with. Speaking of like the gunplay, it's pretty fun. It's not difficult. There are critical hits and non-critical hits. I think there's enough guns in the game to feel pretty good, and there's some crazy ones towards the end of the story. But in the end, with the right kit and the right PCB board, the main pistol is like the OP choice. I mean, it's just kind of the best. There's other features you can unlock in the skill tree, like slowing down time. There's a rushing system, like a quick dash, and a shock stun, the kill feature. I think it gives you enough things to mix and roleplay your own class. I mean, you can even just grab them, like just grab the bad guys or the perps. You can throw chairs, motorcycles, computers, basically like anything that's not nailed down in the game. You can just ragdoll around and just throw it. I think that's pretty enjoyable. I'm trying to do a quick review, so that's not exactly 100% of everything in the gameplay, but it's a fair bit of the main combat. There is also a detective side. Now, you can't, to my knowledge, complete the game without killing anyone or being sneaky or anything like that, but there is a clue finding system in the game that kind of breaks up like all the die, kill side. I wish it was a little bit more fleshed out to be random events instead of it's limited to maybe 5 or 6 different crimes that you can seek out. Stuff like issuing a ticket in the story mode locations you go to. I think there's things like stopping public vandalism, issuing parking tickets. There's some other minor things, throwing trash. There are also other side objectives like saving a courthouse member from being taken hostage at one point, which is outside of the main quest. Again, they're really cool. I just wish that system was a little bit more fleshed out. It seems very limited and sprinkled in, almost kind of like how Ubisoft does with finding things. You do get XP and skill points, and so if you were just to mainline the quest, you definitely would be missing out on a couple perks if you skipped over those things. And they don't necessarily feel cumbersome. You're actually kind of looking for them. I just wish there was more of them. Again, if I had to give it a rating, I think it's worth 3 fat sloppy kisses out of 5. It's nothing to be blown away by. I think it's a fairly good standard game with decent gun selection, decent perks to help elevate and change every situation, but it can become redundant towards the end. If you're not invested in the story, it'll start to feel like kind of like a slog. There's boss battles sprinkled in. They're mildly hard, at least on the hard tier I played on. There was an extreme tier, which was 1 tier away from being the most highest kicking your nutsack type thing you could do. Maybe I should have did that. Yeah, I mean, I think it's okay. All right, this is what you've been waiting for, the story results. How good is the story? What's it like to read this novel? Well, I started this game out, like I said, on hard mode, last tier being extreme, and again, I probably should have just played it on that. I was expecting it to being a mind-numbing, like hard. I think I died twice, and both were my fault. I think it's a fun enough challenge to be creative and kind of flex everything you can use, but it's not hard enough on that scale to ever feel truly overwhelmed. In terms of actual story, I think it's decently written. It did keep me guessing between who was the bad guys and who was the good guys, and it had me skeptical throughout the course of it, and brownie points to them for being able to pick dialogue options that can lead to changes in different outcomes. I love when games do that. You'll be able to interact in the game with certain core story members and see if they appreciated or liked or even kind of like hated the choice that you give them. You even have to pick or to support or not support a mayor at one point. It's not like heavy rain deep in terms of the different outcomes to my knowledge, but again, it's very appreciated, and it adds an extra layer to the game that otherwise would just make it like a hollow shell cash grab. This actually had some kind of love into it. So, final review, star count is 3 capybaras out of 5. If you got to play it for free on Game Pass like I did, then give it 4 cappies out of 5. I have all of the stream content that I did on Kick, so follow me on Kick. You can go watch the other YouTube videos of all the gameplay to kind of see it for yourself. Fast forward through all the parts you don't want to see. But other than that, I love you and I'm proud of you.